Hello, everybody. Just looking. It looks like it is a little bit naturally fuzzy. Ugh. Let me just see if I can correct it by putting a piece of paper. Hey, Margaret, how are you, honey? Just want to see if I put paper down, if it will make it clearer. Let's see. I'm having so much trouble with it. Oh, that's better. Having so much trouble with this camera lately. I don't know what it is. It just gets so frustrating. All right, let me just grab some tape here. So I hope everybody's doing good. I just want to tape down this piece of paper now so it doesn't keep coming up on me. So we are going to use the Painted Lavender stamp set yet again. It is in the new mini catalog. Let's move this up a little bit. And of course, it's Lavender. Hey, Debbie. Hey, Do. Hey, Karen. Too foggy for Casey to come out. I believe it because it's really foggy here, too. And then the Notes of Nature. Okay. And we're using the dies, too. So we're making two quick and easy cards that are, this one, I didn't even put a sentiment. This way whoops, sorry about that. This way you could add any sentiment that you want. And then this one is sending love and best wishes. And we're using Very Vanilla. And I'm going to start with this card here because I did something very interesting to our butterfly. All right. And we'll do that one first. So we're using Very Vanilla, and it's 8.5 by 5.5, and it's scored at 4 1/4. And it's going to be landscape. And then, of course, we are going to add some layers. And let's just take this out. And our first layer is 5 1/4 by 4, and it's Gorgeous Grape. It is a little fussy. I know I'm having so much trouble with my camera. I have no idea why. I've tried getting it focused, and I've given up, to be honest. And then I have one 5 by 3 3/4, and this is Highland Heather. And what we're going to do first, we're going to take the Highland Heather, and let me just grab another piece of tape because I keep catching this with my sleeve. Now I grabbed the designer series paper for this set, the pink, I think it's Perennial Lavender, and I cut them out with the whoops. Let me just grab it. This is the Perennial postage dies. Okay, they all look like stamps. And I cut out little rectangles of the designer series paper. Okay. Now we know that this piece of cardstock is 5 inches. So and it's what, 3 3/4. So we want to just get an idea of where the center of this is, and 2.5 is just about right there. All right. Now we want to get these rectangles on as centered as possible. Hi, Cheryl. How are you? Hello, hello. All right. And I did get 3 different patterns of the designer series paper, and I am going to add some glue, and I want to make sure that I have enough that this is going to stick to the front of our card, and I want to get it at least centered onto our layer. Whoops. We want to be careful because the glue gives us that little bit of wiggle room. All right. So we're just going to put one. Hello, hello. Yeah, I like the perennial postage too. They're pretty. And then we're going to put on the second one. And again, we just want to make sure that they're on here as straight as possible. And then we have one more. So this card couldn't be any easier. And as you can see, I covered up my glass mat tonight. Like I said, I'm having trouble with my camera. I do not know what the problem is. And as you can see, it is just a little bit fuzzy, and I just don't know what it is about it. All right, so now that this is all glued, I am going to grab the time-worn type embossing folder. And again, where the logo is, that is the front of the embossing folder. So I want the front of the card to be facing that logo. And I am going to run it through the cut and emboss machine and emboss this layer. I'm just going to leave this out because I'm going to need it again. All right, so now that it's embossed, our little pieces are actually adhered pretty well to this layer. Now, you know I like to cheat, so we are going to put a glue dot on one end of our ribbon. I'm going to add it to the back of the card, and I am just going to wrap this around and cut it off. Grab another glue dot, and we're going to add this to the back of the card. Now, why I said I like to cheat is because I will tie my ribbon and then add my ribbon. I'm just going to cross these. Okay. All right. So we just put a little X in the middle. Yeah, that's true. The scallop dies. All right. So this is the Orchid Oasis metallic woven ribbon. I looked to see if I had some Highland Heather or Gorgeous Grape, and believe it or not, I do not. And I just didn't feel like coloring any kind of ribbon tonight, so I figured the Orchid Oasis is perfect. All right, so we just made a quick bow. Get my finger back in here to make sure that we have this knot nice and tight in the center. And then I'm just going to grab another glue dot. I'm going to put this right here in the center. Add my ribbon. And give it a trim. I have such a headache today. Ay, 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 it's killing me. All right, so there is the front of our card. So let's just, since we're finished with this layer, we're just gonna adhere this to the Gorgeous Scrape. Now this would work with any designer series paper, so it's perfect for all those scraps that you have laying around. Hey Kathy, foggy Minnesota? Well, it is a foggy Pennsylvania too. It is crazy. I guess the warm air is starting to come in. Most of our snow is gone, thank goodness, but it is a muddy mess out there because it's been raining, it's warm, and foggy, definitely foggy. All right, so we're going to pull in the butterfly, and I am going to pull in a piece of scrap paper, okay? And I am going to grab, let's see if I have one here. Yep, a dauber. And I am going to grab my Gorgeous Scrape and my Highland Heather. Okay. And taking the Gorgeous Scrape first, I'm just going to ink it up, and I am going to put some darkness. Now I should have done this a little earlier so the ink would dry. So I'm hoping that it comes out okay, because you know that the wet ink is going to attract the embossing powder. All right, so we put some Gorgeous Scrape in the center, and now we are going to add some Highland Heather to the outside of that Gorgeous Scrape. Okay, so we have our butterfly, and you can add as much of the Highland Heather as you want. I don't want to add too much because it'll look like the Gorgeous Scrape, and that's not what I want. All right, North Dakota, it must be Cindy. How are you, honey? Thank you for sharing. All right, so now that we have our Gorgeous Scrape and our Highland Heather on here, I am going to grab my Versamark, and I'm going to grab some gold embossing powder. And let me just see what I did. I am going to grab this butterfly, and I am going to hold it. I want it to dry a little bit, but I'm going to take my Versamark, and I am going to add it to the edges of this butterfly, all the wings. I'm going to just go all the way around and add some Versamark. And hopefully we're getting it all. Don't want to miss any edges. Let's just try that side again. All right. And then we can put this down and cover it with some embossing powder. Hopefully I was able to get all the edges. I'm just going to pick it up. And it probably is embossed on the Highland Heather and Gorgeous Scrape. No, not too bad. All right, so let's just hit that off. And as you can see, it did get the edges, but it did also get part of, we're going to take that off. Highland Heather and Gorgeous Scrape. right? So we're just going to put that aside. So all I did was add some Versamark right to the edges of the butterfly. Added some gold embossing powder that I am actually getting low on. And we are, hey V, how are you? Yeah, it's getting warmer here too. Tomorrow it's supposed to be 63. So go figure. Froze for a week and now it's going to be springtime. All right, so I am going to heat up this embossing powder. So we just have a little gold, hey V, how are you, honey? We emboss the edges of our butterfly. Now I just want to fold his wings up, okay? And then I'm going to take my bone folder and I am just going to curl his wings just a little bit, just so they're rounded a little bit, okay? And then we'll just grab our glue and very carefully, I don't want to add too much, pull in our card and we can add our butterfly right to the center of our card. All right. Now while our little butterfly is drying, let's see what I did with my, I'm looking to see, I have, oh here, nope. I have everything in a basket. And my embellishments are not there. How come? That's weird. I was just in here playing before the videos. Oh, here they are. I moved them. So we're just going to take some of the purple fine shimmer embellishments. And I am going to grab the darker ones. And I'm going to put 1, 2 right here at the top. All right. I'm going to grab a third one and I am going to add it to the butterfly. Fix his wings again. And I'm going to take an additional one and add it right down here to the corner. So there is the front of our, yeah, these gems are really pretty. Thanks, Kathy. Hey, Paula. Yes, I love the paper too. Now for the inside, we have Gorgeous Grape, 5 1/4 by 4, and Very Vanilla, 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. And I wanted to do the inside just as simple as we did the outside. So I am going to grab, let me see, some Highland Heather. We have some butterflies. We have some lavender. And then we have this stamp, and I'll show you on the stamp set actually. We have this one here that we're going to be using, the butterflies, and these little flowers right here. All right. So we're going to grab our Highland Heather. Let's close up that Versamark. And I am going to use the lavender. I'm just going to stamp oops, the bottom of the card. All right. And then I'm going to grab the gorgeous grape with these little flowers. You saw that, right? And just to add a little bit of depth, we're going to add some darker flowers. All right, so we have a little bit of dark and light. Thank you, Margaret. Me too. I love purple. And then we are going to grab our butterflies, and with the gorgeous grape, we are just going to add some butterflies coming up the left-hand side. Now, on my original card, I took some crumb cake and a dauber and distress the edges with the crumb cake just to make it look a little bit older or vintagey. So we're just going to go all the way around on the very vanilla. And I'm doing it now because I want to do it to our layer we just did. I think my crumb cake stamp pad needs to be inked, re-inked. So we're just going to distress all the edges. You could use early espresso if you want it a little darker. Hey, Debbie, thank you. So move that up again. I don't know. Very frustrating. The, what you call it? Don't mind me. I am, I just had it right here because I measured it and it disappeared again. How crazy is that? This happens to me every time. It's like I have my stuff right here waiting for me, and then I go to glue it. Here it is. How did it get up there? All right, so I am going to add a bit of glue. If you remember, we were here last time, and I was talking about the other end of the Tombow glue. This end here, and asking if anybody ever uses it, because I usually don't. And I actually used it for the first time last week and glued in the basic white layer on the inside of my card. And I usually do not use glue on that layer because you can see it through the basic white layer. And it worked fairly well, I have to say. All right, so you can notice I did not use a sentiment. We left it so you can add any sentiment that Jade on that you like. So it's just a quick and easy card with a new way to use these butterflies, right? And some of those scraps of designer series paper. All right, this one is a little bit more involved, but we do have our Very Vanilla again, and it's 11 by 4 1/4, and it's scored at 5.5. And we are going to right away, I'm going to grab my crumb cake, and we are going to distress the edges right now. And you don't have to if you don't want to. Years ago, we used to use tea to distress our paper. All right, so we're just getting that up a little bit. All right, so that is our layer. Next, I'm going to use, I'll make sure it's the right one, some gorgeous scrape, and let's not lose it this time, 5 1/4 by 4. And then I have a layer of Very Vanilla, 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. And I am going to close this up. Now, what I did with this layer is, and I'm going to grab my Notes of Nature dies, and you'll notice that it has a die, like a notebook hole die. Yeah, I know. Don't even leave the chair, that's for sure. You're right, it does not um, leave glue trails, and I'm glad I tried it the last time. All right, so I laid this centered as best as possible and ran it through my cotton emboss machine to make it look like a piece of paper. Okay. Next, what I'm going to do is I am going to grab the stamp from the Notes of Nature, and I'm going to grab the crumb cake, and we are going to ink up. I'm going to turn it a little bit, and we are going to stamp this layer just like that. All right, just random. All right, Karen, be careful out there. Yes, it is a mess. All right, honey, you have a great night, and I'll talk to you soon. So now that this layer is done, we're going to grab that time-worn type again. We're going to put the front up against the logo, Stampin' Up! Logo, and we're going to run it through our cotton emboss machine. Just going to need that machine one more time. All right, so now it is embossed. I am going to grab the Dauber again and the Highland Heather, and I am very lightly going to go over the surface of this wherever, because we embossed it. So I'm just going to rub over the surface to catch all the embossing from that folder. And again, you can do it as light or as dark as you want. All right, so now if you notice, we can see the writing that's embossed on here, just like that. I'm going to close this up. I'm going to grab my crumb cake again, and we're just going to hit these edges. All right, so that is that. Whoops. So now we can pull in our card base, pull in our gorgeous scrape, and we can adhere these two together and add it to the front of our card. Just want to make sure it's on here straight. So has anybody been crafting lately? Make anything special? I'm still trying to finish my painting. This time of the month, my craft box subscription is ready to get cut and sent out, and that's what I was working on. So I get busy this time of yes, I will be on at 10, Karen. I will. 10 o'clock with Fun Fold Friday. And we're going to wrap the week up with this set. All right, so I did die cut the mat for the sentiment, but what I didn't do is the sentiment, only because I want to show you a trick. I'm going to use the Highland Heather again, and I am going to ink this up really good because I think this is another one that needs some re-inking. And I'm going to just stamp the sentiment, and I don't care that it's crooked, but you'll notice it's a postage stamp. So what I did was, we didn't want to cut off the top of the L or the bottom of the S. So I fit the L in one of those little curves, and the S fits right here in this curve of the postage stamp. All right, and I'm just going to fit it, even if it's straight on here, it's off tilt, it's tilted to the side a little bit, which is fine. I just didn't want to cut off any of the letters, so I want to just run this through now. My plates are so warped on my cotton emboss machine. I have to put them in some boiling water. All right, so there's our sentiment. Now what I want to do is I die cut some of the sprigs in the painted lavender set, and I used Lost Lagoon, Gorgeous Grape, Highland Heather, and Pretty Peacock. Now these three, 1, 2, 3, are from the painted lavender. This one is from the Notes of Nature, and I'm going to take the one from the Notes of Nature. I am going to add some glue and add it right here to the corner. And it's okay that we see the glue, because I am going to add some glue to the sentiment and center it onto the Gorgeous Grape. All right. Hey, Debbie. Oh, your scrapbook. Awesome. That is a lot of work for sure. All right, so now we can pull our card back in, and that's the wrong one. And I use the dies. Now let me just see where they are. I had them sitting right here. There are little butterflies in the set. So again, we're just going to curl these wings a little and fold it. And then the same thing with this half. We're just going to fold it and curl his wings, okay? So now let's layer up our sprigs. And I'm just going to add glue to the ends. And then we're going to grab this one I glued to the front. All right. Now, the sentiment I'm going to pop up onto the front of the card. So I'm going to turn this over, and I am actually going to layer my lavender. Let's see, right here. And I am gluing this front side down to my sentiment. Why am I doing that? Because I want these to pop up off the page, and I don't want to see the dimensionals. So we're going to just pop it up by using our sentiment frame. Okay, so let's grab some dimensionals. And we are going to add 1, 2, 3. And we're going to add this right here to the front of our card. I want to make sure it's on here straight. All right. So now, whoops, now it is up off the front of the card. And we're going to grab these little butterflies. And I am going to add one butterfly here. And I'm going to try to see if I can see what's wrong with this camera. I had it fixed. And then I don't know what happened. It went haywire again. And then I am going to grab the other little butterfly. And I'm going to add it right to the leaf. So it pops up off the front of the card. Let's grab some gems. Put this one here. And then I am going to grab some twine. And we're just going to make a quick bow. I'm going to just lay it down. If you put your finger, let me just grab this other piece here. I made it too short. If you put your finger down and pull on your twine, it keeps your bow a little straightened. Just want to make sure that that knot is nice and tight. So we got a little bow. Pull our card back in. Let's grab a glue dot, and we're going to add this bow right here to the corner. All right. And I'm sorry about the camera, really am. So that is the outside. Now for the inside, we again have our gorgeous scrape, 5 1/4 by 4, and then our very vanilla, and this is 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. Now for the inside, I am going to grab this pretty little sprig from the Notes of Nature right here. And I'm going to grab some crumb cake. I'm going to ink it up. And I'm going to stamp it in that corner. And this corner. Just very quickly. Let's cover this up. Next, I'm going to take this pretty little flower right here, and it's a little one, and I am going to grab, I think I want to grab the Gorgeous Grape, and we're going to also add these to the corner, and I'm going to put the larger of the flowers in the corner, right over top of that sprig. Okay, let's grab our crumb cake, get those edges, bring our layer back in. Now it's funny, the very vanilla doesn't really show the glue for some reason. Alright, so we layered it up. I'm going to add some glue to the outside. Add this to the center of our card. Looks like it's off kilter. Oops. There we go. And there is card number 2. And our simple card number 1. Man, that is terrible. Oh, thank you so much. You are welcome. So I will be back tomorrow at 10 o'clock with Fun Fold Friday. I'm going to use the painted lavender one more time for this week. And I think what we're going to do is focus naturally on the Designer Series paper because it is so beautiful. Sorry about the camera. I will work on that in the morning. Thanks, Margaret. Thank you, Debbie. Thanks, Cheryl. And thanks for joining. Don't forget about, if you'd like to join Stampin' Up, this glass mat that I covered tonight is available. So if you'd like to learn more or talk to me about it, please get in touch. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Thank you.